What is up, YouTube? This is Michael from Team Dreadnought, bringing you a V premium deck profile. I think this is actually the first one on the channel.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
We'll try to get a bit into all three formats. I know D seems like the main one we're working on right now, but I definitely want to try to get all of them. But this is Altmile for now. They just got a new promo. It shouldn't be too hard to get your hands on, but it is crucial to make this deck actually work.
I know it's only this train deck.
It's garbage.
Oh, is it?
We got a normal V starter,
Everything that comes out media, so.
and just normal V starter. You can't play anything else in V, so. We'll go grade 3s. 2 blue scanner Altmile. I could see the argument for 3 because of the promo I'll explain later. But he is when he's on rearguard, if he attacks, he no face-up damage, he plus 15s himself, which is really good. And then his Vanguard effect is almost never used. It's just counterboss 1 discard and get 2 grade 2s. If you have to misride into him for a turn, it's not terrible. Try to find your aerial real quickly, but it's not the greatest. So if you try to not to ride him, he's mostly in here for a rearguard effect and to be able to shove in soul off of your promo. Well, not promo in English, but. And then for Aerial Divine Knight Altmile, he is actually a really good card, and honestly the main reason this deck even plays so many grade 2s. His continual effect is during either player's turn, if you have no face-up cards in damage zone, you your grade 2s get plus 10k defense, plus 5k shield, and plus 10k power. It's a really solid just beater. And then if you have an Altmile on soul, they gain a critical. So you're swinging 2 damage on rear guards. If you put the force 2 on him, that's 3 damage on rear guards. Like, it's just really solid to keep people at damage starved if you wanted to. And his other effect to facilitate his board is counterboss 1, soul boss 1 to get a grade 2 from the drop and deck. You have recursion in the deck now, which is really good, and you can get the card from deck. With a lot of the grade 2s, I play a lot of 1-ofs in the deck, which I'll show you soon. And as for grade 2s, we have a big stack over here. We'll go over the 4-ofs right now. 4 Sulamons. The reason you play this is when you ride him on Vanguard, you can look at top 7 for an Altmile. You only play 6 grade 3s, so you kind of need one. And then when he attacks on Vanguard or Rearguard, you can soul boss 1 and bounce a card to your hand to give him plus 5. Some builds cut this now because you just hope to draw the aerial and it gives more grade 2 room. I could see the argument there. I just like having the consistency to do the aerial plays and get them in the hand. And I think it helps to rewrite in this deck a lot, so. 3 Lamrok, I can see the argument to playing 4. His effect is counterboss 1. When he's placed on rearguard, you can call a grade 2 as long as it's placed from your hand. And if you have no face-up damage, you can soul boss 1 instead to get a card. It's an easy card. Get a grade 2 to finish out the board. Easy. 2 of new promo. He's honestly the reason I think the deck is so good right now. Knight of Chivalry Rebel. Front row, rearguard, all your back row can't be retired by your opponent's card effect, so they have to kill him first with the effect, which is pretty solid. You want him to keep being in the drop for your effects. And then when he's played on rearguard, you can counterboss 1 and shove a not grade 2 to less, so you can just throw a trigger back in the deck to draw 2 and then call a card from hand. You're probably calling cards anyway to fill out the board, so it just helps give you cards in hand and potentially put a trigger back. 2 Starlight Violinist, and I'll go ahead and go along with the 1-of right now just to kind of go together. 2 Starlight Violinist gives your back row, as long as he's on board, gives all your grade 2s boost and intercept from the back row. So with aerial, they have plus 10 power, plus 5 shield, intercept from the back row, and boost. It just kind of gives them all effects. And then counterboss 1 to get a Starlight Violinist. Sometimes you'll need this to fill out the board, and sometimes you'll need to burn the counterboss so you have no face up. 2 Jewel Knight grade 2s. You could play the Ashleys. I just found myself not liking them as much because I didn't like having the grade 3s in hand. I had to rewrite them sometimes. It just wasn't good. But I like her a lot. When she attacks, you can put 2 normal units from your drop zone on bottom to soul charge 1 and give her plus 5. And when something gets played over her, it gets plus 10. So you're trying to push for numbers. It's not terrible. And you can kind of just push for numbers decently. Really solid card. On to the 1-ofs. 1 Blade. If you can ride it, it's really good. And you can also just use it to burn your counterboss to pop a front row. Usually pretty good to ride if you can get it. 1 Degund. It comes up sometimes. At the beginning of your turn, if you have no face-up damage, you can give himself counter charge and plus 5. You can give him plus 5 regardless if you have face-up damage or not, but it's pretty solid. If you have if you do not have 5 units on board, this can't attack or be attacked, and it gets plus 10,000 anytime continuously during my turn. It's not bad. It's a 19 booster or attacker with violinist, so it's not terrible. Well, Lamrok, this is here for the sole purpose of you got rushed and you need to burn a lot of counterblast real quickly. It's just counterblast 1 plus 10 if you have 5 more units. Just get easy power. And then Die Connect is your soul charge. When placed, if you have another rear guard in the same column, soul charge 1 if it's a trigger plus 10. You can sometimes get the aerial and soul easy if you missed it, but just mostly there for a soul charge 1 in case you need it for costs. Grade 1s, standard, just for your grade 3 searchers, and if you know phase of damage plus 5, it's just play them. They're pretty good. Not much to say about that one. Then Edith. Originally a promo in Japan, we got it in Clan Selection Volume 2. But she is, when placed on rear guard, you can soul blast 1, look at top 7 for an Altmile, and call it to the same column as her. And then at the end of the battle, if she boosts any grade 3, you can shove that grade 3 in soul, it bounces back to your hand. Get you a 10 shield back. It's mostly used early game if you can draw into it to get your Altmile set up turn 1, so you can put the force 2 on him and your whole front's 2 crit. Just really solid. Really good card, definitely needed for the Altmile deck. Then we just play the 9 crits. You can check out the crit for another Sentinel PG if you want. I just like the 1 Belinus. But you could easily not play it and be completely fine. And just play instead 4 draw trigger PGs. I like the 1. And then just 4 heal triggers. I think it's a very good deck for the V format. It's very fun to play. I like it a lot. It's also very cheap, if I remember correctly, and not very expensive. Just finding the promo would be annoying if you don't have the locals. But I'm pretty sure you can find someone online selling it for pretty cheap. I recommend building it. It's pretty fun, and if you're playing Royal Paladin, I don't think it's as good as Sanctuary Guard Ashley, but I think it's definitely more fun. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. We'll have some videos with this deck on the channel, and yeah.